Questions for Coach, please.
Kim, I'm gonna just start off by asking about Ruby. I saw she had posted something on Team's Media Day in Jersey. Is she back with the team? Kind of what's her status?
Yeah, she is back with the team. She joined the team early September, I think September 8th that week, after a lengthy suspension. It's not an ideal situation. It's not a situation that reflects our program the way we want it to. There's a strong legacy here, and it did not withhold the name of the brand. It's not something that helped us at all in recruiting. It's something that we have addressed. We've addressed it seriously, and we're hoping that we can now move on and put our next foot forward.
Is she full go? Are there any limitations to what she's doing in practice?
Right now she's full go. She's kind of served that time. So today she'll be full go.
Kim, what were you most pleased with about last year's team, and what do you want to improve on?
I think we shot the ball pretty well last year, and we need to get better at that. We don't necessarily have a Jewel Spear or a Tess Darby, and we're still looking for players to fill that role. We need some knockdown three-point shooters. We really like threes. That's really what our offense is predicated around. So we need some people that will step up and do that. I think we're a little more athletic this year than last year. I loved the players we had on the team. They had great buy-in. They played hard. They were competitors. And I just hope that we can build upon that.
You shot 32.5% on threes a year ago. Is there a number you would like to reach?
We want to be around 34. We just want to make sure that we're taking good shots.
What do you think is resonating with recruits, whether that's high school or transfer portal, that they are picking your program and want to play here?
I think we're getting recruits that see what we're building and want to be a part of what we're building. It's a great opportunity to be a part of a class that helps the program get back on the national scene. And that's really what we're selling is, maybe I don't have the tenure that some of the other SEC coaches or some of the other coaches that they're going on these visits have, but if they want to be a great player on a team that is still establishing themselves and we're still establishing what we are trying to do, they can go, we're recruiting the top kids in the country. And so they could go to another program and be another good player on a great team, or they could come here and they could be the face of something, the start of something. And that's really our pitch. I think if you get recruits here on a football game day or weekend, I think that kind of sells itself. I think anytime we walk around and families see that Knoxville bleeds orange, there's a lot here that speaks for itself on our visits.
Along those lines, would you rather build your program with incoming high school recruits or the transfer portal, or do you see it as a combination of the two?
I see a combination of the two. We had a significant loss last year. I think it was around 8. I don't know the exact number, around 8, and then maybe it was 7, and then we'll be around the same big classes that are leaving. And so you can't do that with all freshmen, and you certainly can't do that with all transfer portal. I've loved the freshmen that we have. I've really enjoyed coaching them. So I think you get a mix, and what we try to do is we don't recruit backups at freshmen. We recruit freshmen to come and help us play right away, and we have those conversations. If we sign you, we expect for you to be on the floor and be ready to go. And if we miss on those, then we'll try to fill those spots in the transfer portal.
What are some of the things you want to see in this group through the first couple weeks of official preseason practice?
You know, it's interesting because we've been practicing. It's just a heavier load, longer practices. So I really want to see us attack every single day with a sense of urgency. I know our practices will we'll lose a little bit of our endurance and focus, probably the extra hour and 15 that we're going now, but just making sure that they have a sense of urgency, that they are coming in every day ready to practice. They are taking minutes or time during practice to regroup, stay focused, and not just trying to get through practice.
What have you seen from your point guard group? Obviously, Samara was a huge piece of the team last year. You got Kanaya, the twins, true point guards. Just what have you seen from them, and do you kind of expect them to be able to run this offense for you?
Yeah, Mia's doing a great job. I think Kanaya and Naya are doing okay, but Mia has really stepped up and kind of separated herself by leading the team. She needs to be more vocal. Sam was really vocal for us. Any point guard in my system probably has the hardest life of everything goes through them. I expect them to score, everything's at tempo. I don't call a lot, I don't control a lot, so they're having to do that, and she's picked up on it really well.
How much is her ability to play in transition? Now she's talked about in the past how much she loves to push the pace, get out in transition. How much is that going to benefit this team, and how much does that maybe play into her kind of separating herself a little bit?
Yeah, she's made to play this way. That definitely helps. She passes the ball well. She's leading us in the assist to turnover ratio. So she's finding the right people. People like to play with her. She's shooting really high percentage shots, so she's not taking bad shots. It's just going to be a grind for a season for a freshman.
You mentioned being the group that gets back to the national stage, and now that coming into this year, all the talking heads are, hey, look at Tennessee, look at Tennessee. How do you guys kind of handle that now? As, okay, they know we're here, we have to live up to that, that standard of Tennessee basketball.
Yeah, we don't really pay much attention to any of that. We're going to stay humble. We're going to remember the predictions when I first got here. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to keep that same energy.
Coach, you obviously had a great year in your first year here at Tennessee last year, but is there something you personally as a coach maybe took away, learned a lesson that you want to implement going into year 2?
There's a lot. I think the length of the season, the grind of the season is one that we've tried to tailor to. I think I talked about that last time, of just making sure that we don't burn out too soon. I think making sure that you can keep your buy-in all season long, educating. There's a lot. I learned more last year as a human being than I've ever learned in my entire life. And so it was such a learning curve. So it feels so much better going into year 2 than it did year 1.
What'd you learn as a human being?
Well, I had a baby, so I learned a lot about childbirth and a lot about keeping a human being alive. And the jump, I've said it multiple times, the jump from Division 2 to Division 1 is big, but the jump from mid-major to high major is huge. And just learning so much more about the recruiting aspects of this level and how to handle players of this caliber, all of that was just such a learning curve. And that's why I will always be so appreciative of last year's team, that they really just bought in and we all did it together.
You had a lot of great results last year, but I wonder, what did that UConn win do for your program?
It was great for us. I felt like we were having so many close losses, and that was our signature win. And as a coach, it's twofold. You're frustrated because we played really well. We were the better team that night. There was no question about it. And that team won a national championship. And that sets the trajectory of their season, where they didn't lose and they started playing better basketball. And quite frankly, I thought we started playing worse basketball. And that's hard to live with as a coach. Yes, the win was great. It was great to give our fan base something. Our fan base had watched us lose by 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point. They had been in the seats. They had been cheering for us. And to give them that moment, I think, was such a great thing. That and making it to the Sweet 16 was great to do for our fan base. But as a coach, you're just a little bit frustrated because you know we had it.
You said last time we talked to you that you have a lot of athletes who are really good on both ends of the floor. Have you seen that start to pay off with the early signs of your press? And do you kind of think maybe this team can maybe run that more consistently, or maybe do different things with the players you have?
It's a great question. Our press, they're picking it up way easier. We're having to repeat ourselves less or understanding things. Last year we had to tell our team to go, do more. This team is already aggressive. This team already flies around. They already have that athleticism to put them in spots just more naturally, but we're still not right now getting steals the way I would like to get steals.
Coach, in August you touched on your desire for your players to carve out more defined roles and become obsessed with those roles. What sort of progress have you seen on that front?
Yeah, we're really working on that. We're getting ready to watch film right after this of shot selection and play to your strengths, and we have it all documented. So we're getting there. We're getting to the point of games are around the corner. They're going to be here before we know it, and making sure that people don't, when that jump ball goes up and the popcorn is popping, that people don't try to play outside of their role.
When you did decide to reinstate Ruby, I guess first what went into that decision, and then second, I'm assuming you guys had a conversation about expectations on and off the court. How did that kind of go too?
Yeah, it was a difficult process. I think as a coach, you have to, and it's really hard, and I'm going to be really transparent here. You have to look at the scope of the team, and that's my job as a head coach, is to protect the Lady Vol brand. You have to look at that, but it's also my job to coach my players. My players are young people and they make mistakes, and she made mistakes that did not reflect well on this program. So we talked about it at length. I don't want to say punished, but we gave her a penalty that was pretty severe, and if she batted an eye to that or didn't want to do that or wasn't going to bend over backwards to make up for what she did to the brand of this program and by failing to meet the standard, then we were going to move on. And she really wanted to be a part of this program, and she understands the severity of what she did. And so those conversations led to where we are now.
You had said before last year, it might be mid-year before your offense really clicked in. Do you think it'll click in sooner?
No, I don't think it'll click in sooner. And I was having that thought to myself yesterday on the baseline of, it takes time to figure this out. I think it will be probably the same trajectory of maybe around January we'll start to peak, which is unfortunate because we have really scheduled very difficult. So we're going to have to get through some bumps in our non-conference schedule.
When we watched practice last time, Alyssa just looked like a different player from a physical standpoint. Just how have you seen her take a step over this summer, and what do you expect from her this season?
I think Alyssa has worked harder than anyone over the summer. She had gained muscle. She was in the weight room. She came back focused. She was better on the track, better in every aspect. Alyssa just needs to be consistent, and she wants to average a double-double. I'd love it if she could do that. She very much knows her role. She's shooting the ball better. She's just got to stack days and put them together.
Knowing the offense will take a while to click, I guess is it more comforting that the press is where it's at now, that you're a little bit more comfortable with that?
Yeah, it helps that we have people that have done it and that know what it is and know the game is going to come in runs. I think last year it took us a long time to figure that out, and we were unfortunately figuring it out in SEC play, where we came back against LSU, we came back against South Carolina. We just did it too late, and so now that we have players that know that it's going to be up and down, and we have to try to stay consistent and level-headed, part of that is the pressing mindset and playing fast, and that will help.
How much does it help too that you brought in players who naturally want to play aggressive, like the Paul twins, who that's kind of the whole.
Jada Civil is another great one of players that just like to go. You don't have to speed them up. Now we're really trying to slow this team down. Of this team, sometimes I look at practice and we're playing hard and we're flying around and we're playing at pace, but we're doing nothing that looks right. And so just really slowing them down, which I would much rather slow people down than speed them up.
Candace Parker was here for the Georgia game, and I know you went to her jersey retirement in LA, and I think you were at her Nashville book stop this summer. Just how would you describe the relationship you're building with her, and what it's been like to get to know her?
Yeah, she's an amazing person, regardless of what she's done for this university, but she's done so much for this university. She really is a true ambassador for women's sports, for women's basketball, and for Tennessee, and she does a great job. She bleeds. I don't think I've ever seen her not in orange. And she bleeds Tennessee, and so anytime I can ever help her in any way, I would love to do that, just because what she's done for this program, again, and this university.
It was a hectic year for you last year. I know, first year here, having a child. How was the off season as a mom, and how is baby Connor doing?
The baby Connor is great. We're just at 8 months, which is kind of crazy to wrap your head around. Off season was great. Again, I've said it time and time again. I will always say I'm so thankful that I was able to take my maternity leave after the fact. So once we finished the Big Orange Caravan, we finished recruiting, I got to take 6 weeks off and spend that with my son, which healed me a little bit because it was very hard to leave him so early. And so to be able to spend that time with him healed me, and I didn't even know I needed to be healed, to be honest. And then I could come back 100% ready when the girls returned in June.
And when you play as many players as you do, is it easier the next year to reload as opposed to rebuild?
It is. It is. Everyone's ready. Everyone, again, we recruit for players that want to play right away. There's some freshmen that want to come and sit and develop and sit behind somebody for 2 years, and we don't recruit players that want that, and those are conversations that we have, making sure that they know that they don't get to be a freshman for very long. So everyone that came in was expecting that, and now we're just competing for who's going to be on the floor.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Coach.